they have some aerospace experience when they come to work here. During this time, we were getting people with less experience, many cases no aerospace experience, and there were so many of them at once that we realized that we really needed to go address this. The next couple of issues come from, and it's compounded by that first one. I will just say the sheer complexity of our systems, our processes, our procedures, and our build plans. We have been operating under the same foundational elements of many of our processes and procedures for 50, 60, 70 years. We have updated them as we've gone through time, but primarily we have added to them. We had a gap here, we had an issue here, we went back and clarified it in the procedure, we put a little bit more in the procedure, we put a little bit more. And what we ended up with is a deep and broad list of command media that is particularly difficult for new employees to come in, grasp, understand, ensure they're complying with. The second issue is our build plans. It was another similar situation. Our build plans are at times complicated, particularly for a new employee, no aerospace experience, perhaps they speak English as a second language, even more complicated. So that's our second kind of clumping of areas, second and third issue that we knew we wanted to go address. The next two, you will have heard this previous in the story. The first one is really ensuring that we have minimized or eliminated the defects coming into our factory from our supply chain. And we'll go through this in just a minute, but just if we think about the story that I told on the plug and the background of what happened, we just need to ensure that we are as close to a perfect products coming in as we want to be going out. The next is findings from the FAA audit. This was a chance for us to say, when we get an audit finding, we get feedback from the FAA, we do root cause analysis, we put into place a systemic change that we believe will hold. With some of these new employees, what we found is some of these things we had fixed before, they pop back up, and we said, let's make sure that we make it even more robust once and for all. Let's take these findings and instead of just, and we wouldn't do something this simple, but redoing our training and reinforcing compliance, let's make sure we really make these processes robust so they're good forever. And then the last three are really all about the safety culture. The first is a result of the AXA panel. If I had to summarize one of the major findings from the AXA panel, and of course there are many, there's ones around human factors, et cetera, but one of them is just the fact that, quite frankly, Boeing was and continues to be very early in our safety management system deployment. We really started to deploy in earnest our safety management system from a voluntary standpoint in 2019. We started with a focus on the fleet. We then moved to our development programs, which is where we were working through. We had not gotten it fully deployed to all areas of our production system. And in many ways, that's what the panel found. They found that we have not fully deployed it, and we need to do that rapidly. The next one really comes to how we manage work that is not completed in position or at the time we wanted to, where we had baselined the completion of that work. How do we manage it? What do we do about it? And really the need for better management of that work. And then lastly, I said limited employee engagement. There are ways to say it. I think our employees were telling us, I need more time to be able to participate in the solution for these ideas that we just talked about of how we make sure we make the perfect airplane. I need some time to really go work on that. So we said, great. So many, many issues, but most of them you can boil up into these kind of 8 issue categories. And we've come up with 4 basic areas of how we're going to go address them. The first is invest in workforce training. The second is simplify plans and processes. The third, eliminate defects, both coming in and that we create. And the fourth, elevate our safety and quality culture. And I'll go just a little bit deeper on each one. Next chart, please. First,